The status quo of Team Unity is uncertain if an unscheduled general election results from the current impasse of Team Unity, according to Caribbean pollster and political analyst Peter Wickham. Appearing on a recent Carib Update program, The Narrative, Wickham indicated that the role of overseas voters in the St. Kitts and Nevis general elections could determine the viability of a Team Unity government. Speaking with Calista Faria on The Narrative, Wickham expressed the view that a general elections in the near term presents uncertain variables.
I am not all that convinced that once the parliament is dissolved, once the union is broken up, that the status quo will be retained, especially as we're now looking at elections being called with borders open. So you don't have the benefit of closed borders. There's some 12,000 overseas voters in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I think that these could make a fundamental difference. And, you know, the last election was, to some extent, unrealistic in the sense that it gave us an idea of what was happening on the ground. In St. Kitts and Nevis, whenever you call an election, you have to know what's happening on the ground, but you also have to know what can potentially happen in the air. When those overseas voters return, it can be a lethal force, bearing in mind that you have margins of less than 100 in many instances, and you have planes that can see 300. So I'm a bit concerned that the presumption that Palm is making that the status quo will be retained may not necessarily be realistic.
After failed attempts to patch the divide with the PLP Prime Minister, both CCM and PAM have withdrawn their support for Prime Minister Harris as leader of Team Unity. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.